Coming episodes of Caribbean Medical TV.
So if there's one thing that I could encourage each and every one of you to do is really to empower yourselves. Have that conversation with your doctor. Know what is normal blood pressure, what's normal blood sugar. First thing in the morning versus after a meal. Know your numbers.
The thing about prevention is that the burden of prevention still rests on the patient. So we're hoping that with programs like yours, in which you educate the public about the risk factors for disease, then they take it on, because the doctor cannot get up and go and exercise with you. The doctor cannot stop you from smoking. The doctor cannot extract your sweet tooth. All of these are things, the burden of which rests solely on the patient. And they've got to make the time to do that.
Thank you, Dr. Massey, and all of our other Caribbean medical doctors. As usual, we encourage you to be aware, to be proactive, and take steps to protect your health. Talk to your doctor and evaluate aspects of your diet and the amount of exercise you get. We hope that this program will provide you with the necessary tools to improve the quality of your health and lifestyle. I am Dr. Mariam Abdul-Richards, and this has been Caribbean Medical TV.
The ZNS community page now has its own home on Channel 230. Be sure to tune into this channel to see informative notices, funeral announcements, birthday greetings, and much, much more. So watch the ZNS community channel today on Cable 230.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Minister of Immigration and Labor outlining initiatives to combat illegal immigration. Plus, family members deny reports of 2 men missing at sea being in custody. And a family mourned the loss of a 12-year-old boy who died on Grand Key. We have the details. The Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, combating the issue of illegal immigration on the Northern Islands was the focus of the Minister of Immigration and Labor during his presentation in the House of Assembly today. The minister detailing an update on his department's status from February 2022 to present, while highlighting the government's efforts to address this long-standing challenge.
The government of the Bahamas is resolute in its position that the immigration laws will be enforced and violators will be returned to their country.
The Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell, opening his address by discussing the current conditions in Haiti and the challenges faced on the ground, noting that the government is on high alert to detect and intercept any individuals attempting to enter the Bahamas illegally. To achieve this, a special operation was launched earlier this year on the island of Abaco, and that he says remains ongoing.
Since the 20th of February of this year, Operation Restore has resulted in the arrest of 82 persons from Abaco who have been charged and put before the courts. They include 34 Haitian nationals and 1 American national who were charged with illegal entry, 23 Haitian nationals and 3 Jamaican nationals who were charged with overstaying, 1 Jamaican female who was charged with attempting to mislead an immigration officer.
On March 21st, 2023, the government issued over 200 eviction notices to residents in unregulated communities on Abaco. Minister Bell says operations to address the issue of illegal immigration, which have persisted for decades, is not only taking place in Abaco, but also across the entire country.
Persons have been arrested in Bimini, Eleuthera, and Grand Bahama, and have been brought to New Providence for further processing. Operation Secure, Madam Speaker, is the beginning and not the end of special operations on the Family Islands.
The minister highlighted that last year, over 4,700 individuals were deported from the Bahamas at a cost of $1.5 million. He says statistics suggest that this year, the number of repatriations will exceed last year's numbers. In other news, unconfirmed reports have been making its rounds on social media, claiming that the 2 men from Bimini who went missing at sea on Sunday have been found and are in the custody of police authorities in the United States. However, tonight a family member is claiming that those reports are false and the family has not received any official information on the whereabouts of their loved ones. Here's Simone Davis with that update.
Just hours into the search for 31-year-old James Toot Jr. and 23-year-old Nazar Robbins, news started to circulate that the men were arrested in Florida. However, one relative, Whitley Bryce, is claiming that this information is false and men are still lost at sea.
The family has been doing their research in regards to the rumors that has been spread. We have contacted a few entities in America, the Consul General Office, nor any government entity in Florida was able to get any information for the family.
She says it's disheartening that those rumors are being created about her uncle and godbrother, and the family is in distress and desperately searching for leads.
We just want to know the truth. We just want to know if they are safe. We want to know if they are in America, because we will prefer them to be there than to be missing at sea and we can't find them.
She says at this time they are still conducting private search and rescue efforts.
We as the family, we are cleaning our bank accounts to make sure that we can get private sectors to go out there and search. We have already spent over $15,000.
We also contacted local police authorities who confirmed that there are no official reports of the men being in police custody in the United States, and they are still working with the Defense Force to search for these 2 men.
I would just like to plead to the public to stop spreading the rumors if it's not concrete evidence.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Still with news from Bimini, police officials arresting a 43-year-old male of Porgy Bay after he was found in possession of a quantity of suspected cocaine today. It was shortly after 5 o'clock this morning when officers attached to the Allenstown Police Station executed a search warrant on a residence in Porgy Bay, Bimini. The team discovered 32 clear Ziploc packages of suspected cocaine. The drugs weighed 25 grams with an estimated street value of $300. Investigations into that matter continues. Also in news, police on Bimini also arresting 6 Haitian nationals in Baileytown. Reports indicate that it was shortly before 6 o'clock this morning when officers attached to the Allenstown Police Station executed a search warrant on a residence in the area of Baileytown. The officers discovered a group of Haitian nationals, 3 adult males and 3 adult females. They were all handed over to the Bahamas Department of Immigration for processing. Meantime, on Grand Bahama, 25-year-old male of Emerald Bay was arrested for possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition, and he is in custody tonight. This as police reports indicate that it was shortly after 11 p.m. when officers attached to the Anti-Gang and Firearms Unit proceeded to a business establishment on East Atlantic Drive. Once there, a male dressed in dark clothing was searched. He was found in possession of a pistol containing 8 live rounds of ammunition. Investigations continue into that matter. Well, more and more victims of sexual abuse are speaking out, resulting in more arrests for this crime throughout the Bahamas. Tonight, President of Freedom International Ministries, Bishop Sobig Kemp, is weighing in on this reported rise in incest cases. Tonight, he gives a strong warning to perpetrators to seek God to cease and desist their urges. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
He is a leader in the community and a spiritual advisor. Bishop Sobig Kemp explaining that incest is a spiritual battle, but says there is a way out, and that is through Jesus Christ.
God cursed the man, he cursed the woman, and he cursed the serpent that caused the woman to sin. And as a result, humankind experienced a change in nature because they were innocent and they were perfect, created perfect. And as a result of that, their nature changed. They became wicked and evil. So the human nature is wicked and evil, and that's the reason why God commands men everywhere to repent. Because as the psalmist says, we are born in sin and shapen in iniquity.
Now, Bishop Kemp says there is help for those involved in this behavior and notes that if help isn't sought, the situation can only get worse.
If something is not dealt with, we just continue. It continues to increase, and the feelings and the desires, etc., they become even stronger. And then before you know it, and then here's one of the other things. There's so many other influences around us. For instance, pornography. And most persons who are experiencing these desires, many times it comes from having been exposed to these things.
The spiritual leader expressing that persons involved in this criminal behavior usually shy away from the church, but he is advising them that they can turn to God just the way they are.
When the church speaks, there are so many that reject the truth. They don't want it because they have no desire. See, they want to flow with their nature, that which is natural. It's a natural thing to flow with that, you see. And it requires effort to fulfill the plan that God has for us. And so that's the reason why many people reject, they resist, and so they don't really want to be in an environment where they're going to be feeling condemned and feel guilty.
Bishop Sobig Kemp noting that God is a God of salvation and is calling all persons to repent no matter the nature of their sin. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Switching gears now, the rise in school violence on campuses within the Northern Bahamas has raised some concerns. The Grand Bahama Christian Council is stepping in with plans to place God back at the center of school campuses in Grand Bahama. Shane Stubbs reports.
In the wake of school violence increasing, the Grand Bahama Christian Council's Commissions for Hospitals and Schools hopes to lend a helping hand in guiding students on the right path. This according to Council President Kenneth Lewis.
There are a myriad of issues that are confronting our children, and you as administrators and as teachers, you have to deal with it. There's one way of dealing with it on the academic level, and there are other ways of dealing with it on the spiritual level. We come to you asking for you allowed us to work with you.
On what the council hopes to provide, Lewis says,
pastoral care and counseling to lead children to Christ, to deal with behavioral disorder and defiant issues, to deal with criminal activities. We have our children dealing with marijuana. They start off with marijuana, and before you know it, they're taking other drugs.
As a veteran educator, Commission's leader Mary Russell knows firsthand the guidance students need in schools.
It takes a village to raise a child. We have, and as the president said, students attacking teachers. We might as well face the facts. Students attacking students with weapons. That's what we're facing today. These are our children, and the Word of God admonishes us to bring them up in the fear and the admonition of the Lord.
For Principals Gia Walker and Janice Pinder, they believe any brand of help in providing a safe learning environment is welcome.
Oh, I think it shows great care for the community and for the schools because, you know, it starts with the children. It starts in the schools.
But it's not just about academics or sports. The spiritual part does come into play as well. And so we're just pleased that the Christian Council has decided to partner with us.
The council says schools shouldn't be afraid to call on them as they are available to help in any capacity. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, in a tragic turn of events, the sudden death of a 12-year-old boy on Grand Key has sent shockwaves throughout that community. Tonight, family members are reflecting on his life. They say he loved fishing, playing sports, and they will miss him dearly. Here's that report. March 18th, 2023 is a day that will forever be etched in the memory of the mother of 12-year-old Diorly Macintosh. It was the day her son's life was tragically cut short while playing basketball with his friends.
They was playing ball, having a, back and forth, and he threw the ball back and he tell them, hold on, give him a minute. And then he went and he sat down and he laid back and that was it.
According to his mother, there were no known underlying ailments that could have contributed to his untimely death. However, in February, he woke up with an abnormal heart rate.
So we went to the local clinic in Grand Key. We got a charter. We came over to Freeport. Say he was dehydrated. After they put him on the drips and everything, he was on a hard one almost a whole day. Everything was fine. We went back to regular. We came back to Grand Key and that was it. He was fine.
The sudden death of the 12-year-old has taken both his family and the Grand Key community by surprise. The young boy's classmates made tributes in his honor.
2 words to describe Diorly. As a track star and a basketball star.
Smart and humble.
Athletic and caring. Wise and inquisitive. Charismatic and supportive.
We love you, we miss you, Diorly.
His coach and homeroom teacher at Grand Key All-Age School, Rashad Richardson, mourns the tragic loss of a promising young athlete. He says the young man was eagerly preparing to compete at the National Track and Field Championships in New Providence this week and expresses that his death has left a deep impact on the entire team.
Not seeing him on the boat to pick him up to say, hey, Mr. Richardson, are you ready to run? Was a huge blow and very devastating and to break me off, to be honest.
A makeshift court has been arranged in the backyard of his grandmother's house, serving as a reminder of the joyful moments spent playing the sport. Although they won't witness him playing on it again, the family holds on to the cherished memories.
And I thank God for him. I give God all the praise, all the glory, all the honor. I'm hurting, but I'm smiling because all the glory belongs to God. He was smart, he smiled, he was funny. Everything will be missed about him.
An autopsy is being performed to determine the exact cause of death. As for the family, they are making burial arrangements. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more when we return.
March 18th to 25th, Dolly Madison Home Center is having a huge 15% off sale on Whirlpool and GE refrigerator. Whether you're redecorating, building, or need a replacement, Whirlpool and GE refrigerator offer advanced cooling technology and come with a 3-month warranty. From classic white to sleek stainless steel, Dolly's got the perfect fridge at 15% off March 18th to 25th.
Women of Grand Bahama, take control of your health and wellness. Join Let's Talk Women's Group on April 1st at the Old Bahama Bay Hotel. Guest speakers, informative seminars, and more. Call 441-6311 for info. See you there.
Bahama Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Artist Community presents Art Lakaya, a 4-day showcase of Grand Bahamian talent, March 23rd through 26th at Rand Nature Center, Port Lakaya Marketplace, and Garden of the Groves. Reserve your tickets at events.gbpa.com/artlakaya. Shockwave Entertainment and Blue present Flashy, featuring DJ Future, Friday, March 24th from 8:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. $10 at the door.
Be a part of another exciting hat show with fashion from past to present at the Church of God Prophecy, Coral Road, Sunday, March 26th at 6 p.m. This is a fundraising event.
We are going back to where the independence movement began, here on Grand Bahama.
That's right, Rick. 50 years ago, on the eve of independence, two men insisted that the first flag of an independent nation be lifted in West End to symbolize the struggle to attain an independent nation.
We will explore the home of hospitality, the country's largest settlement. What has changed and what remains the same?
5 decades later, we will also remember the fight, the movement, the growth, and the strength of the people of West Grand Bahama.
I'm Ricardo Lightborn.
And I'm Shashina World-Farquharson. Join us beginning March 27th through the 31st every day at 2 p.m., where we will be coming to you live from West Grand Bahama in a special launch of our ZNS Independent series, Till the Road We Trod.
Only on the ZNS Network.
It's time to kick off a healthier lifestyle, and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas is leading the way. Join us as we march into March with a commitment to improving our mind, body, and soul. Don't miss out on our upcoming Fun Run Walk on March 25th. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just starting out, this event is perfect for all fitness levels. Get ready to feel the rush of fresh air, connect with fellow participants, and take a step towards your fitness goals. So what are you waiting for? Let's make positive changes together and show our community what we're made of. We'll see you at the starting line on March 25th.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Walter Parker Primary holding its career day for 5th and 6th graders at the school. The purpose of the event was to showcase the variety of job opportunities that may become available once the students enter the workforce.
A number of business houses throughout Grand Bahama participating in the Career Day held on the Independence Park.
We wanted them to see that they can dream, to believe, to do whatever they want in life, whatever desire, job opportunities that are available here.
The Bahamas Immigration Department, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Freeport Container Port, and the Road Traffic Department showed up, showcasing the many job opportunities available in their various work areas.
A lot of persons think that the only thing that we do is either place persons under arrest or work at the ports of entry, but there are several of our different sections that are represented here today.
Also have the traffic department. We have areas such as the dog unit. Very different units they can be a part of.
We have administrative professionals, and that can range from human resources professionals, learning and development professionals, finance and accounting professionals. We have corporate affairs officers, etc. And then we have persons that work in facilities, operations, projects and development. So there are various career opportunities available at the container port.
Young persons with young minds, hard and energetic. It is very important so we can steer them in the direction perhaps of a career choice of theirs that will be rich for them in the future and make the Bahamas a better place.
Even our very own ZNS Northern Service sports duo also sharing the benefits of working in media.
I see it as a gift and an opportunity to educate, to inform, and entertain, not just Grand Bahama, not just the Bahamas, but throughout the world, really. And so I just wanted to share with these athletes, with these kids, with these students, really, the importance of journalism. It can take you around the world. It's important that you keep yourself to the standard.
Working with ZNS now, it's been very beneficial. I've learned a lot. It's been different. The sky is the limit in journalism, and that's kind of what I want to, relate to the kids today.
We have so many different areas within the field that people don't usually see.
Also in radio, you will have the behind-the-scene people, other than the announcers. You will have the engineers, the people who deal with the day-to-day aspect to make sure that the corporation is running properly.
While at Career Day, we found quite a few youngsters who just may have a promising future on television.
For the Bahamas tonight, this is the Northern Edition, and I'm Solomon Simonet.
For the Bahamas tonight, the Northern Edition, I am Tamisha Mizek.
For the Bahamas tonight, the Northern Edition, this is Timothy Kemp. For the Bahamas tonight, for the Northern Edition, I'm Caden Swain.
For the Bahamas tonight, the Northern Edition, I am Denaje Forbes.
For the Bahamas tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, Total Media Bahamas is scheduled to conduct the introduction to videography classes for adults and students May 1st through 6th at the Pelican Bay Hotel. Classes will begin in the evening at 7 p.m., where interested persons will learn key concepts of shooting, scripting, basic camera shots, and video editing, just to name a few. The presenters will include Henry Juice Ouden, Kent Minnis, Tim Allen, Glendia Sweeting, Shashina Wolf-Farquharson, Michael Garvey, and Lisa Davis.
We basically want to establish a pool of people that will be trained in the various areas of videography, whether it be for them to work in the industry, work for various news companies, whether it's for their own business, to market their own business, or just social media, however it is. We want to create a platform for them to learn from.
The creative industry is a $2 trillion a year industry worldwide. $2 trillion worldwide. If we can hone our crafts, if we can hone our skills, we can take a part of that industry, bringing it here, not only to Grand Bahama, but to the Bahamas at large, creating jobs. I believe the creative industry creates 50 million jobs worldwide. So it's another industry that we want to bring to the Bahamas, and we want to bring it with our own professionals doing our own work. And I believe that this course is going to help a lot to hone your skills, to become the creative that you actually really have in mind to be.
For more information on these sessions, you can call 646-2738 or visit www.totalmediabahamas.com. Jay Philippe is up next with your sports report.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. Well, Island Relay is wrapped up at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex this weekend. Here are some highlights. Winning the women's 100-meter dash running out of lane 4 was Texas A&M Cameron Dixon in a time of 11.81 seconds.
I just really wanted to get out and stay in my dry phase as long as I could because it's really windy out here today. It felt really good. I think I got out really good, and all that momentum just carried me through the line. Just had to power through from the last 60 to 40.
In the men's 100-meter showdown, luck in the middle of the track as Anthony Greenwood from South Carolina in lane 4 takes his run in 10.66 seconds.
I was just coming off a 4x1, and I knew I had to race my legs, so I just had to stay strong. I don't have the best start, so I knew some guys in my heat. I know, I think the dude who came in second, I knew he had a really good start, so I had to make sure that I stay to my race, run my own race. Don't panic, don't pop up too soon, because my strength is the finish, and that's what I did.
Texas A&M has had its share of athletes from Grand Bahama. Head coach Patrick Henry has coached the likes of Bahamian Olympic gold medalist Demetrius Pinder and the late Chavez Sparky Hart. He also coached legendary Laverne Eve while at LSU.
It's great to be down here and maybe see another one. You know, even back to Laverne Eve. Laverne Eve was an athlete of mine, one of your greatest javelin throwers ever when I was a head coach at LSU. So I've been in it a long time. I've had a lot of Bahamian athletes over the years, and they always are people that are kind and representative of your country. They have always done a good job.
Switching gears now in cycling, the Grand Bahama Cycling Association has named its team for the upcoming Bahama Games.
Lady, we have Lonnie Duncombe, Aiden Bain, Lee and Mary Gibbs, Anthony Colebrook, Curtis Fowler, Randy Cooper, Mr. and Mrs. Moreau, We have Heather Brewery, Sylvia Bateman, Kim Thompson, Bishop Ricardo Grant. One of the coaches would be veteran cyclist Keith Major, Freda Gustav, Ellie Gibson, and myself and Lorna will assist as managers of the team.
Now in hoops, scores from the Grand Bahama Amateur Basketball Association playoffs. The Fugees got the W against Showtime 104-91 in Game 3 of the best-of-3 semifinal series in A-League play. Ed Bethel had 29 points in the win. Dejon Walgo scored 30 for Showtime in the loss. The Fugees will now face Gym Rats in the championship series best-of-5 in A Division. Over in the B-League, Just Hoops will go up against Blue Marling, also in the best-of-5 series, beginning on Thursday. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Keep it cool with Bethel's Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, located number 3 Milton Street. Phone 602-5467.
Hi. I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi. I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
John West Shoes is now open. Carmichael West, Nassau, behind Wendy's.
Ice the coconut got this. Cocoa skin dripping madness. Juiciness, ice the vibe. This sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice honey. I did all of my love me. Sweet like a sugar in a watch it go ba 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 ba. 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 Sweet like a sugar in a
new Clear Platinum flavor. Flavored beers with a kick of rum. Make it platinum.
We all need to save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Due to Carefta trials airing live on the ZNS network, ZNS Health Zone will air Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m.
We did a biopsy, and they found out that 15%, I only had 15% kidney function.
That's when he told me, your kidneys are failing. And I was like, what?
According to the Bahamas Kidney Association, that about 10 to 13% of our adult population in the Bahamas suffer from kidney disease.
We're finding kidney failure in a lot more younger people.
ZNS Health Zone will air Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m. Tune in.
It's time to kick off a healthier lifestyle, and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas is leading the way. Join us as we march into March with a commitment to improving our mind, body, and soul. Don't miss out on our upcoming Fun Run Walk on March 25th. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just starting out, this event is perfect for all fitness levels. Get ready to feel the rush of fresh air, connect with fellow participants, and take a step towards your fitness goals. So what are you waiting for? Let's make positive changes together and show our community what we're made of. We'll see you at the starting line on March 25th.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is none other than Pastor Patricia Bodie, who is celebrating her birthday today. Hope you had a fabulous one, my good auntie there. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Have a safe and wonderful day. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report, authorities up the fight against gun violence. 3 months in and more than 1,000 repatriated. The health of a nation under scrutiny. And in sports, B3As seek support. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by BTC. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, switch to BTC today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The gravity of gun violence gripping the country on full display during a press conference this morning as the government seeks to further strengthen its case against illegal firearms and, by extension, gun manufacturers. Carla Palmer has tonight's top story.
On display at the press conference were high-powered weapons, Uzis, pistols, AK-47s, shotguns, and automatic drum magazine firearms with the capability of firing 50 to 100 rounds at a time. Many of these weapons used in the shooting deaths of mainly young males, in which firearms account for 95% of the majority of serious crimes in the country. The problem intolerable for the government, as the Bahamas does not manufacture firearms. And as a high priority, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis wants those companies who make these illegal firearms that end up in this jurisdiction to pay, hence the multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
As Prime Minister, I acknowledge the importance of this legal action and the potential for a positive outcome in our ongoing fight against gun violence. We have witnessed firsthand the devastating consequences of illegal firearms on our communities, families, and overall security.
So far this year, there are in excess of 20 shooting deaths with 74 illegal firearms confiscated. Last year, over 100 persons were killed in gun-related incidents and close to 400 illegal weapons seized. While the government is reportedly employing all the necessary resources to mitigate illegal firearms into the country, the Prime Minister is convinced this added legal measure that's a collaborative effort with other Caribbean nations to result in an outcome necessary to bring change.
We believe that by holding gun manufacturers responsible for their role in the distribution and sale of these weapons, we can create a safer environment for our citizens and reduce the violence that has plagued our region. The scale of this issue extends beyond the borders of any single country, and we understand that a comprehensive and coordinated response is necessary. By joining forces with our regional partners, we are sending a strong message that we will not tolerate the unchecked flow of illegal firearms into our nations.
In addition to the legal action, the Prime Minister has committed the government's efforts to investing in education and social development programs with a view to turn people away from a life of crime.
It is essential to address not only the supply of illegal firearms, but also the demand for them by tackling the underlying issues that drive individuals towards crime and violence. I want to assure the Bahamian people that our government is fully committed to this fight.
Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernanda is too optimistic of these developments.
These weapons were traced. The majority of these weapons traced and are connected came from the U.S. 90% of the weapons traced from the U.S., and this is the highest in the region.
Some of these weapons are still being used as evidence in matters before the courts. Others will be destroyed, while the remaining will go to the armory until further investigations are completed. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
And speaking of illegal weapons, another was taken off the streets last evening. From all reports, ShotSpotter technology led officers to an open yard on McQuay Street off Nassau Street after 7 last evening, where they found a quantity of suspected marijuana along with a black high-powered weapon and 55 live rounds of ammunition. No arrest was made. The drugs' estimated weight and value are also unknown. We shift our attention now to news from Parliament, where the Aviation Minister gave House members an update on the dispute over overflight fees. This as the country has so far secured more than $42 million in airspace fees for the current fiscal year, with the expectation that this figure will be higher based on the faster than expected recovery in air traffic movements. Altavis Munnings joins us in studio with the story. Good evening, Altavis.
Good evening, Macushla, and good evening, Bahamas. It was days after the 2022 Thanksgiving holiday when the Bahamas was advised by the International Air Transport Association's clearinghouse, that's where the bulk of U.S. airline payments are cleared, that American Airlines launched a formal protest on its $4.2 million in airspace charging scheme payments from June to November that year. This led to Bahamas Air Navigational Services Authority, better known as BANZA, issuing a formal response on December 8th, justifying the validity of the Bahamas' fee charging scheme and how it was considered to be consistent with International Civil Aviation Organization principles.
On December 15, 2022, the Bahamas was advised that having reviewed the position of American Airlines and the Bahamas, it concluded that a substantive dispute existed between the parties. Under the rules, therefore, the IAH notified that the $4.2 million in dispute would be held in escrow until the matter is resolved.
Recapping the chain of events, Tourism, Investments and Aviation Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper added that on December 15th, 2022, Air Transport Association of America members filed a joint complaint with the U.S. Department of Transportation against the Bahamas and a number of the Bahamas' air carriers into the U.S. Airlines for America asked that, unless the Bahamas ends the collection of what it characterized as unjust and discriminatory user charges, the authority, held by air carriers of the Bahamas to provide international air transportation to the United States, be curtailed or suspended or be subject to other countervailing measures. This resulted in the Department of Transportation issuing an order inviting interested parties to respond to that complaint within 21 calendar days.
I can report that on January 11, 2023, the Bahamas Comprehensive Response was filed, calling for the dismissal of the joint complaint on several key grounds. One, that the DOT, Department of Transportation, does not have jurisdiction, given that it can only rule on a case of discrimination under the ARA, and noting that the charges being levied by Airlines for America covered other structural elements of the fee scheme that went beyond the ARA. Two, that Airlines for America does not have standing to challenge the airspace charges. Three, that the DOT is not the proper forum for resolving the dispute. And four, the Bahamas overflight fees are consistent with the governing agreements and identical for all airlines using Bahamas airspace.
Once filing a surreply in court, the Bahamas reinforced its argument that Airlines for America must prove there is discrimination in the Bahamas fee and clearly articulate the argument that all airlines, including Bahamian air carriers, pay identical charges when flying over the Bahamian airspace.
We are pleased to note, Madam Speaker, that on February 21st, 2023, the U.S. DOT issued an order denying the complaint against the Bahamas, indicating that it cannot conclude that the Bahamas fee structure constitutes unjustifiable or unreasonable discrimination. However, the DOT has expressed its intent to pursue its cost-based concerns under the terms established in the U.S.-Bahamas agreements, which the government agrees is the appropriate forum for these discussions and consultations.
The Aviation Minister also announced that the first formal consultations with the U.S. Department of Transportation on this matter is scheduled for mid-April. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings.
Meantime, the Tourism Development Corporation bill to be tabled in the House of Assembly once the government secured broad consultation with all stakeholders. That according to Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper, who says the uncontroversial bill has one of its main focus to promote and assist advancing Bahamian home ownership.
We're open to consultation. We support the private homeowners renting their homes through Airbnb or VVRO or whichever platform they choose to use. This is our fastest way of increasing our room inventory. So we're encouraging it. It's an opportunity for Bahamians to invest in the tourism industry. And therefore, we look forward to speaking with them further.
Cooper adding that the Bahamas Vacation Rental Association needed more time to make further contribution to the discussion. The government's primary intention, though, is to create more incentives for Bahamians to enter this industry.
What we have in Exuma at the moment is an absolute scarcity of rooms. We're seeing this now across the islands of the Bahamas. We have been able to work with homeowners and second homeowners to ensure that they make their homes available. This is something that we support. Let me be clear that this bill is a positive step to empowering Bahamians, to revolutionizing the product, and really creating the types of linkages that we spoke about in this country over the last several decades.
Well, startling, yet not new statistics highlighting individual risk and major gaps within the public healthcare system emerging from the most recent STEPS survey. Still, health officials are optimistic that if key plans are implemented, Bahamians can live longer, healthier, and more productive lives. If you want to know how much of a problem non-communicable diseases are here in the Bahamas, just consider the findings of the 2019 STEP survey. As Health Minister, the Honourable Dr. Michael Darville revealed in the House of Assembly Wednesday morning, 29.3% of the respondents were diagnosed with hypertension and 7% never had their blood pressure checked. Yet less than 60% of them were actually taking their hypertension medication as prescribed, while about 40% were non-compliant with medication and had elevated blood pressure readings at the time of the survey. Further, about 9% of those with an elevated blood pressure denied being diagnosed with hypertension. Here's what else was determined.
When it came to diabetes, 12.8% of respondents reported that they were diabetic, and some 22.7% of the respondents reported that they have never had their blood sugar checked. Less than 45% of the respondents were actually taking medications for their diagnosed diabetes. The survey also revealed that 12% of the participants diagnosed with diabetes had elevated fasting blood sugar readings at the time of the survey. Also, almost 6% of the persons with raised blood sugar readings denied having been diagnosed with diabetes.
Using the body mass index as a guide, as many as 25.4% of the 2,365 participants were overweight and 43.4% obese.
Madam Speaker, the rate of physical inactivity was such that 3 in 10 persons did not meet the normal global recommendation for sufficient movement, and when totaling their total body or daily movement at home, at work, and even recreationally was inadequate. Madam Speaker, about half of the respondents drank 3 to 7 alcoholic beverages per week for the 30 days leading up to the survey, and 30% of the respondents reported as being lifetime abstainers.
Daily smokers accounted for 17.4% of participants. Equally concerning, though, is the number of people exposed to secondhand smoke either at home or at work, which based on the survey totaled 12.1% and 17.4% respectively. The findings prompting health officials to launch what's called a comprehensive and evidence-based multi-pronged response in hopes of correcting such health challenges. This includes purchasing cost-effective medications to treat common conditions and establishing a non-communicable disease registry.
We must reduce the incidence of non-communicable diseases and reduce the disease burden across the country. That is why I'm excited to announce that tomorrow morning my ministry will launch our new wellness unit. This new unit will support a sustained program at the community level, engaging duly registered qualified parahealth and allied health providers to support the delivery of clinically proven care modalities, mental health counseling, nutrition and counseling, and physical fitness training by qualified instructors.
Participants in the 2-volume survey ranged in ages 18 to 69. The document was completed ahead of both 2019's Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic.
In other news this evening, Foreign Affairs Minister the Honourable Fred Mitchell says efforts continue to galvanize support from the international community for the Haitian National Police, or HNP, as that Caribbean nation continues to grapple with increasing gang violence. Minister Mitchell, who recently returned from the Commonwealth Foreign Ministers Conference in the United Kingdom, noted that apart from climate change, discussions at that high-level forum focused on lining up countries to support the HNP. His comments come as the United Nations renews its call for countries to urgently consider deploying a specialized force to Haiti.
We had discussions with the Kenyans and with Rwanda with regard to police officers coming to support the Haitian National Police. And Joe Biden and Trudeau of Canada just met yesterday up in Ottawa. And so we're waiting to see what the results of that are so that we can plot out the next steps with regard to it. Difficult situation, but it was very useful being there in the UK because of all the people who were gathered there in and around the meeting. And so I look forward to the next steps.
Meantime, the government's taking a firm stance on addressing the country's illegal immigration woes, with the Minister of Labour today updating the House on continued efforts to repatriate illegal migrants to their home countries. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
On the heels of government issuing 267 eviction notices to Abaco shantytown dwellers Tuesday, Immigration Minister the Honourable Keith Bell says government is resolute in enforcing immigration laws in the Bahamas, and every effort will be made to address the decades-long issue of unregulated migrants. This is as Haiti continues to be under siege by gang violence, which has led to at least 208 people being killed, 164 injured, and 101 kidnapped in the first 2 weeks of March.
Since the 20th of February of this year, Operation Restore has resulted in the arrest of 82 persons from Abaco who have been charged and put before the courts. They include 34 Haitian nationals and 1 American national who were charged with illegal entry, 23 Haitian nationals and 3 Jamaican nationals who were charged with overstaying, 1 Jamaican female who was charged with attempting to mislead an immigration officer. Madam Speaker, of the 83 persons charged before the court, 82 persons were convicted.
Over the last month, he says 584 people have been repatriated, among them 395 Haitians, 167 Cubans, 8 Dominicans, 3 Peruvians, 3 Colombians, and 8 others of varying nationalities. Having repatriated more than 4,000 people in 2022 and more than 1,100 in the first 2 months of the year, Bell anticipates repatriations will surpass 2022's figures.
On Tuesday, the 21st of March 2023, that is yesterday, a total of 202 persons were detained at a detention center, and they came from countries including South America, China, and Africa, Madam Speaker. The highest numbers: Ecuadorians, Brazilians, Haitians, Cubans, and Jamaicans. There are 24 persons in our safe house, of course, and we're talking about women and children. And Madam Speaker, we're continuing to see this growing trend where a significant number of children are being sent on these voyages.
Bell also touched on the U.S. Department of State's Human Rights Report, which he says does not fully explain the complexities of the country's constitutional system, citizenship laws, processes, and requirements for government to act within the law and its mandate to Bahamians. Among them, he notes the report says there are no reliable estimates of the number of people without a confirmed nationality in the country, also focusing on statelessness and the absence of laws to address it.
The report stated there are no reliable estimates of numbers of persons without a confirmed nationality. The report then proceeds to excessively discuss matters related to statelessness and the absence of laws to prevent it. Madam Speaker, our Constitution, that is the Bahamas Constitution, and the Nationality Act provides for the basis of citizenship. If a person decides, for whatever reason, not to obtain a passport or other documentation for the country of which they are entitled citizenship, they are not stateless.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this one, sis.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Are you overpaying for low speeds with your internet provider? Stop wasting your money. Switch to BTC for the fastest internet to the most homes in the Bahamas. Get up to 300 megs fiber fast speeds, up to 3 times faster than what you get now. Plus, get 164 TV channels, all for just $42.50 a month for 12 months. That means you'll save $860 for the year. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, BTC is for you. Switch to the largest fiber network in the Bahamas.
Original or hot and spicy?
I'm cooked the hard way. No corners cut to live life the fried way. 11 herbs and spices, that's all I can say.
If you wanna take a bite, I'm just a little tanky, but a whole lot of feisty. Yeah, I'm the chick with the drink that call me hot and spicy.
There's no winning flavor. They're all finger-licking good.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Bahamians are rediscovering Grand Bahama through immersive staycation experiences at Lighthouse Point Grand Lucaya. Pamper yourself at our Senses Spa or savor exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy serenity, 18 holes of golf, fine dining, romance, business conventions and meetings, grand outdoor events. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or WhatsApp message 827-8195.
This segment of the news is brought to you by RBC. Discover mortgage ideas shaped around you. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story to start your story today.
Welcome back. The Davis administration seeking to give companies operating in the Bahamas an added sense of security, and that's by providing the necessary mechanisms to resolve conflicts without having to ensure both lengthy and costly proceedings. Legislatively, that comes in the form of the International Commercial Act and the Arbitration Amendment Bill, debated today as a compendium.
An international arbitration center is a critical step toward tapping into our full potential as a jurisdiction. It is no coincidence that the same characteristics that make us a safe harbor for investments also make us a great location for arbitration. Within our shores, we have an excellent legal framework, taking into account our proximity to the U.S., our legal talent, and our financial services and investments expertise. Honestly, Madam Speaker, the deck is stacked in our favor. There's no reason for us not to be successful in this endeavor.
Well, more emphasis must be placed on providing adequate health care services for the elderly in hospice care. The plea of the founder of a senior care facility who charges that due to the threat of the COVID-19 pandemic, mobility and operational issues, her residents have been somewhat neglected and are in dire need of medical attention. LaDawn Davis today visited the East Street South home and has the details in this next report.
Dozens of elderly residents here at the Unity House have been diagnosed with a number of non-communicable diseases. Founder Janet Butler is asking health officials to come into the Unity House to assist those residents with medical checkups twice a week.
When you're a psychiatric patient or a person with have Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, or dementia, you need to be seen by your physician to make sure that the medication, what is given, even though it might be, sometimes we need to upgrade the medication. Some of these people have diabetes. You cannot cook the same type of food. Even if somebody bring food in here, we have to know how to monitor it to give them that. You have from diabetes to high blood pressure. As we know, it is, a lot of people don't know, they might say, but they have arthritis. But it's 200 and some plus are different arthritis. And you have to study these people and to weigh them out. My car is down, so we can't get them to go in a car. Even if you get somebody to carry them along with the caregiver, you can't get them to go in a car. Sometimes for them to bathe, you have to go in the tub with them to bathe.
Butler also made this appeal to family members to do their part.
People have to do better, much better. It has gone now out of rage. Family members I haven't seen for years hadn't come back and look for their family members. Some of these people, I don't even know them if they stand in front of me. I do not know them no more. The Holy Spirit would have to tell me, now that's happening on. They would not stop and come to the gate, not even to bring a Pampers. The rent have to be paid, these staff have to be paid. Some of these are here 24/7.
Butler says it's a labor of love to speak up for the elderly, but she's tired of getting no results. She plans to give health officials until the end of next month to come up with an effective home visit plan. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis.
Well, Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, confirming to our news team that he's aware of the matter at Unity House and will liaise with Ms. Butler to see how best to provide services for bedridden patients at that home. Well, Science Week kicking off at Sadie Curtis Primary with a number of activities aimed at piquing students' interest in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM. Science teacher Lakia Williams-Brown says the activities incorporate the theme Road to 50, preserving our natural resources.
Tomorrow, we're having a big STEM day where we're partnering with other organizations who will come in and help to just get our kids involved and get them knowledgeable about STEM education.
Activities wrap up on Friday.
The students had science projects that they did, and then we also brought in guest speakers like we did today. Mr. Aaron John of the Bahamas National Trust, he was our speaker for today. We're going to bring in other persons to share with the students. We're going to have a science talk competition, but it was to sensitize students on the importance of preserving our natural resources. You can never start too early.
The Bahamas Telecommunications Company offering a new program to secure homes. Carla Palmer explains.
In case you were wondering what all the excitement was about in Stapleton Gardens on Wednesday, here's Stacey Mackey, BTC Marketing Manager, to explain.
We would have had an activation on the Stapleton Gardens Park 2 weeks ago, and we are promoting our fiber's fast-speed internet in the area of Stapleton Gardens. And we would have picked 2 winners who would have signed up on the day of on the park. So 2 winners were selected based on signing up for fiber's fast-speed internet and, of course, getting 50% off. So Mr. Wade was one of our winners.
Ms. Mackey talks about BTC's motivation for this promotion.
For us, it was twofold. It was one, partnering with the Stapleton community, and the second was to ensure that we were able to provide the residents of Stapleton Gardens with the fastest speed internet. And with that promotion, persons can sign up and save 50% off our Stream 300 plus TV Max. And Mr. Wade was one of the persons who were excited to sign up, and of course, you know, he was one of our winners.
She also explained why BTC felt that the Ring doorbell was the perfect gift for these lucky winners.
With the Ring doorbell, it allows you to have a sense of security whereby you know who's coming into your yard, who's coming to your door. It is a motion sensor as well, So any slight movement, it will alert you. You know, you can see it on your phone. I think that's one of the biggest features of it. So no matter where you are, whether you're traveling, whether you're at work, you can tell whoever is in your yard or at your door. So it is a great security feature to have.
Dearwood Smith, president of the Stapleton Gardens Neighborhood Watch, talks about their partnership with BTC.
This was a beautiful partnership with BTC and the Stapleton Gardens community on the Stapleton Gardens Neighborhood Watch, whereas residents were able to come out, sign up for this fast-speed internet service that was introduced to us by BTC, and whereas residents were able to now be afforded an opportunity to have this Ring doorbell, which is very useful in terms of crime, for their safety, and it can assist with safety of their neighbors.
Cipriana Stewart, the resident chosen by the Neighborhood Watch Association to receive a Ring doorbell, tells of her experience with crime in the neighborhood and how she anticipates the Ring doorbell impacting her life.
I've had two incidences recently. The first one was where my gas tank was stolen, and then the second one, several months later, was when my car got vandalized approximately 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And this installation of this doorbell will certainly make me feel a lot safer. And I'd also like to thank BTC, together with the Stapleton Crime Watch Association, for considering me for the installation of this doorbell. It's greatly appreciated, and I thank them again.
And in case you would like to be a lucky winner of a Ring doorbell from BTC, Mackie tells you where BTC will be next and just how you can be a winner.
In addition to being in the Stapleton Gardens area, we will be going to other areas as well. Next week, we will be going to Millennium as well as Yellow Elder Gardens. So, of course, you know, you never know. You just might be a lucky winner of a Ring doorbell. So make sure that you sign up for our fastest speed internet, the Extreme 300 plus TV Max. That's 164 channels, and you just might win a Ring doorbell.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, should corporal punishment continue to be administered in schools here in the Bahamas? Yes or no? To participate, simply log on to our website, www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. And as always, thanks for participating. The National Report returns in a moment.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
We are approaching a new paradigm in tourism. We're working on the tourism ecosystem to cause a paradigm shift. It is apparent Grand Bahama tourism has oftentimes been based on the presence of incentives to sustain business. I am persuaded that the product is sufficiently robust to have a change in mindset, create sustainable tourism, and build a healthy Grand Bahama tourism industry. We will leverage the massive increase in airlift and promote a strategy of cruise and stay. This will enhance a business model for value creation. This will support the hotel sector, including the success of Grand Lucayan Resort. And we will encourage the creation and promotion of small boutique resorts across the island and encourage Bahamian ownership. And on Monday in the House of Assembly, you will hear a lot about the Tourism Development Corporation and the Tourism Development Fund. Its objective is to empower Bahamians to create linkages and advance the major tourism industry by Bahamians for the benefit of Bahamians with support of foreign direct investments. It's in this new post-pandemic era we can ill afford to do the same things that we have always done, particularly as it relates to Grand Bahama Island. More of the same cannot and will not work for Grand Bahama. We have to seek a balanced approach to driving growth while we transition to bring the new. Overall, outside of GBIA and the pending sale of Grand Lucayan, we're looking at almost $1 billion of new investment projects coming out of the pipeline for Grand Bahama Island. And we're looking at increased interest from airlines and passengers. And it should come as no surprise, that your product here is very strong. Grand Bahama is a very special gem in the Bahamas crown of 16 island destinations.
Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
March into your favorite Super Value and Quality Supermarkets location for great specials like Country Barn Mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $3.75. Amerlander Milk, assorted 1 liter, $2.49. Hillandale Eggs, extra large, 1 dozen, $4.29. Jamestown Bacon, 16 ounce, $4.99. Fresh ground beef, $4.99 per pound. Donate your change to help feed Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Tribute paid today to the man known as the father of the nation, the country's first prime minister, the Right Honorable Sir Lyndon Oscar Pindling, on what would have been his 93rd birthday. Sir Lyndon died on August 26, 2000. Remembering his life and legacy in the House of Assembly this morning, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis says taking the time to acknowledge Sir Lyndon is only fitting as the country prepares to celebrate 50th independence.
He led our country with a clear vision for a brighter future, championing the cause of justice, equality, and progress. His leadership was instrumental in our struggle for self-determination, helping to forge a new path and a new identity for our nation. Under Sir Lyndon's guidance, we emerged from the shackles of colonialism to stand proudly on the global stage as a sovereign and independent nation. His commitment to social justice and his relentless pursuit of a better life for all Bahamians laid the foundation for the strong and prosperous society we enjoy today.
A heartfelt thank you offered to Ministry of Foreign Affairs officials and others paying respect to former diplomat and career journalist, the late Ed Bethel, and that from his daughters and others who on Wednesday paid a visit to the ministry's Cable Beach office for the official signing of the Book of Condolences as they remembered a man who impacted so many. His youngest daughter, Bianca Bethel Sawyer, recounting that every time she saw her father on television, it inspired her to be just like him.
He was an inspiration to many. I actually followed in his footsteps, studying journalism because he was just so good. My fondest memories of him is seeing him on TV and saying, "That's my daddy."
As far as a diplomat,
I am so happy and pleased that people could come and sign. And as my daddy, I can't even begin to tell you just how much he meant to me. And to know that so many Bahamians have so many stories and have so many fond memories of him, because he is a Bahamian's Bahamian.
We used to go to Wendy's after school, and he used to take me and one of my friends, and we used to go, and then he used to take us to JA. And honestly, I can truly tell you that he enjoyed every second of it. Like, it was his thing, it was our thing.
He meant the world to us, and although he may have had titles and everything, to us, he really was just always Papa.
While the Governor General, government ministers, and executives here at ZNS, among those paying respects to the late Ed Bethel Thursday, among those signing the Book of Condolences, Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, who says Bethel served with distinction as the Consul General to New York, the High Commissioner to the Court of St. James, London, and as a non-resident ambassador to a number of countries in Europe, including Sweden. The BCB's Executive Chairman, Paiswell Forbes, and General Manager Andrew Burrows added in their reflections.
New York, he was particularly beloved by the Bahamian community. And of course, his wife, Dawn, who was always at his side, was instrumental in making sure that his time in New York was successful. New York has a very wide diaspora, and it requires some very careful skills in trying to hold a group together. And he did that very well. And he was quite successful. So when Prime Minister Christie returned to office after a hiatus of 5 years, he called on Ed again to go to the UK, where he became High Commissioner. And of course, that's a very busy port because, of course, Bahamians are passing through all the time. There's students there all the time. And in fact, your success as a High Commissioner in the UK is largely judged on how well you get along with the students. And of course, again, he and Dawn were an item for students, very successful in their work there.
And he would have been, in my view, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. He poured into all of us, highly respected, and he had presence. When he entered the room, everyone looked around. Mr. Bethel has arrived. But most importantly, he also carried the Bahamian message. He defended our country, and he was one who people saw with a level of deference, so that was a very important element.
Well, the Lunch Bunch Crew, a social group of men from various sectors of society paying homage and honoring the legacy of Ed Bethel during a special memorial at St. Mary's Anglican Church Tuesday evening. Desmond Saunders has more.
Because of Ed's demise, I serve as the acting chairman of the Lunch Bunch.
What is the Lunch Bunch?
The Lunch Bunch is a group of guys, group of men who have been meeting for about 50 years.
Acting chairman of the Lunch Bunch crew, Henry Dane, sharing vivid memories of Ed Bethel during their weekly social meetings. Bethel touted as an historian and an outstanding individual whose presence will be greatly missed.
Ed is so pivotal in that because we always enjoyed the historical captions. He's been so involved in these experiences intimately, and it is a joy to have heard him recap those. But what a wonderful being he was. What a wonderful being he was. And I'm particularly at peace, if I could use that term. During his illness, there was one calmness on him. And if I'm allowed to say, I believe Ed is at peace.
Tuesday's memorial, a time of deep reflection. Family and friends hearing tributes from Ed's closest friends and contemporaries.
During his tenure, High Commissioner Bethel served with a high degree of professionalism, integrity, humility, and generosity.
Ed Bethel was a professional as a writer and as a broadcaster. He was always in control of what he wrote and what he said. His voice was sharp and crisp.
His stellar performance as manager of ZNS3, the Northern Service in Grand Bahama, propelled Ed into a leadership position of Deputy General Manager. where he served with dignity up to his retirement.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Fred Mitchell, offering these words of comfort to the family.
Take time to grieve. You're not a machine. And people think in this modern era that, someone dies today, tomorrow you just bounce back. It never goes away. But be happy that he lived a great and fruitful life. And to his children, I say the same. And smile because he lived, even as we are sad because he died.
Ed Bethel joined the Lunch Bunch crew upon the invitation of his longtime friend Garth H.O. Nash. Apart from his stellar career as a broadcaster, he served in the Bahamas well as a Consul General to New York, High Commissioner to the Court of St. James, London, and Ambassador to the European Union. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Well, meantime, the Progressive Liberal Party will hold a memorial for Ed Bethel at 11 tomorrow morning at the PLP's Farrington Road headquarters.
This is super cool. Are you gonna help me clean up your toys?
Delivery.
Be right there.
Hello.
Am I gonna get it or are you gonna get it? I'll get it. Hey, thank you. Come on.
Hey, can I help you? Hey.
No, sorry, I'm not home. I'm coming.
A husband and wife are tonight without a home on the island of Inagua after a fire gutted their dwelling place. We understand that the blaze started after 2 this afternoon and quickly ripped through the 4-bedroom structure that Roy Palacios and his wife, Pastor Eva May, called home for more than 20 years. Volunteer firefighters were on the scene. However, they did their best to put a lid on the fire. Fortunately, no one was at home at the time. However, the couple lost everything. Roy is an employee of Morton, Bahamas, and Pastor Eva May is a senior civil servant as well as the pastor of Deliverance Household of Faith. Authorities are investigating to determine the cause of the blaze. Meantime, officials in Abaco denying social media reports of a bomb threat at the Leonard M. Thompson International Airport in Marsh Harbor. Here's airport manager Stephen Petticoat.
Actually, it was a bomb threat drill. It was a drill that an exercise that we carried out this morning, and that that commenced at, we got a call at 9:16. The drill commenced at 9:16, and we went through the complete drill, complete exercise. Unfortunately, how it got out into social media that it was an actual threat is beyond me, but no, it was only a drill that we were doing this morning.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Macintosh. We're under near clear skies this evening. Temperature 75 degrees, the relative humidity at 69%. Your winds, they are out of the east at 15 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,022.4 millibars. That is 30.20 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the Founding Violence this evening, they are brought to you by Founding Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Toll Key in Abaco, Marshall, Abaco at 74. 76 degrees in the Berry Islands. Also Bimini reporting 76 degrees, 75 in Harbor Island, and the Rock Sandy Lutra. Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros, all at 76 degrees. Out of Stan Cat Island, 75, San Salvador and Rumkey, also 75 degrees. Georgetown, Exuma, 77, 77s again in Rygat Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Meguana, 79, 79 degrees. In Acklands, Matthew Town, Unagua on the warm side at 82 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. For all areas tonight through tomorrow, northeast to east winds, speeds just around 15 to 20 knots with the wave height 4 to 7 feet. So that means caution flags will remain in place throughout the 700 islands tonight through tomorrow. Your high tide will take place at 9:29 tonight, with another high tide at 9:49 tomorrow morning. Now, as we roll into Friday in the northwestern parts of our country, those winds are going to swing out of the southeast, ushering in a warmer stream of air. The speeds around 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet, maintaining the caution flags nevertheless. High tide will take place at 10:35 in the morning on Friday, with the low tide occurring at 4:45 in the afternoon in the central and southeastern islands on Friday. Easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean, and once again, no change in those caution flags. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Was in high school, but homeboy beat me to the deal because I never told ya. Now he planned to take you down the aisle to have and hold ya. But oh, gal, if I had you, the things that we could do. Gal, if I had you, oh, the things that we could do. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh,
and that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Shall if I had you.
Have you been denied a U.S. visa and don't understand why? Have you been turned away from the U.S. border without an explanation? Maybe you've had a prior arrest or conviction and you're not clear on how to move forward at this point. Call our office. We may be able to help. 954-449-1833.
Live on March 31st, Phil Stubbs at the Farm. Tickets on sale now. $50 general admission, $75 VIP, $150 for the Skybox party. For Skybox rates, call 525-4180. Get your tickets online at BahamasEtickets.com. The Beauty Shack, Proud Mary, or any Flying Dutchman location. Joining Phil on stage, Veronica Bishop, Ancient Man, Mr. Anderson, Phil Stubbs, live in concert. Friday, March 31st at the Farm, Marshall Road.
Shopping online isn't new to the market, but gaining access to affordable healthcare products at the click of a button is the greatest customer experience. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited gives access to a complete customer journey, from shopping in our retail store on 9th Terrace, Centerville, to shopping online at your convenience from work or from the comfort of your home. Offering delivery and pickup options. Remember, if it's healthcare, it's here. Shop online today.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Well, welcome to your Wednesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. Organizers of the 50th edition of the Carifta Track and Field Games hoping to get the general public involved in the festivities. Outside of attending the actual meet, stakeholders holding a press conference this morning to launch their Fun Run Walk set to take place that Easter weekend.
Express how important this event is to not only the Federation but to the country. We want to promote wellness, and I think there's no better opportunity than to see Lyndon and Lord Coe running together along with Pauline. And we want to encourage mommy, daddy, grandmother, and everyone from every walk of life, not only those who are going to be here for the World Athletics event, the World Athletics family, but we also want civic society, the fraternal organizations, sororities, Rotarians, and lodge members to all be a part of this community event.
And a major international sporting figure set to make an appearance at this year's games. World Athletics Council President Sebastian Coe has confirmed to organizers that he will be in attendance and will participate in the Fun Run Walk as well.
It is a mandate of World Athletics, and we're pleased to be able to say that the president of World Athletics, Lord Sebastian Coe, will be the patron of this event, and he is incredibly excited about running with us on April 10th.
He has asked about he has accepted the invitation formally to be here for the event, particularly the Let's Move Bahamas. He's looking forward to that. Many of you who may or would know or should know is that he is a double Olympic champion. Two-time, I think, the only person to achieve that feat.
In soccer news, the Bahamas Football Association holding a presser earlier today to announce the upcoming CONCACAF Nations League match schedule for March 24th at 4 p.m. at the Thomas Robinson National Stadium. Soccer fans across the nation eagerly anticipate the thrilling showdown between the Bahamas men's national soccer team and Trinidad and Tobago. Carl Lynch, BFA Deputy General Secretary, saying this match is an excellent opportunity for the Bahamas' talented players to showcase their skills on the international stage, that they are excited to bring this incredible event to the Bahamian soccer community. They encourage everyone to come out, support the national team, and be a part of the unforgettable experience. The CONCACAF Nations League unites national teams from North America, Central America, and the Caribbean in a competitive league structure, fostering regional rivalries and offering teams the chance to improve their global FIFA rankings. In track and field news, a big weekend for Bahamian collegiate track athlete Anthea Charlton at the Black and Gold meet in Orlando, Florida. Charlton was named Women's Cofield Athlete of the Week in the SEC. Charlton recorded 2 wins in both the long jump and the 100-meter dash with personal bests in both competitions. Her wind-assisted jump of 6.61 meters improved the UK all-time freshman record, breaking Shaquilla Saunders' jump of 6.43 meters, placed in 2014. Charlton also currently leads the NCAA in the category and shares her award with Sophia Rivera of Missouri. And from the association, Buddy Hield might be money on the basketball court, but he might have to come up off some pretty pennies, as the NBA revealing today. The Bahamian basketball star will be fined $25,000 for an obscene gesture made while he was on the bench in the Pacers game versus the Hornets. The gesture in question can be described as one of the bird variety. Nonetheless, Hield initially tried to cover up the gesture by pretending he was scratching his nose. Had he stopped there, he might have gotten away from the incident without a fine, but he decided to get his point across and nonetheless was fined by the league. Hield, who signed a 4-year, $94 million extension in 2019, is in his first full season with the Pacers. He's averaging 17 points and 5 rebounds per game. And that's my look at your sports on this Wednesday. I'll check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Bahamians are rediscovering Grand Bahama through immersive staycation experiences at Lighthouse Point Grand Lucaya. Hamper yourself at our Senses Spa or savor exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy serenity, 18 holes of golf, fine dining, romance, business conventions and meetings, grand outdoor events. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or WhatsApp message 827-8195.
March Madness begins with crazy good specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Par Excellence rice, 5 pounds, $3.99. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, 2 for $5. Libby spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounce, $1.39. Mazola cooking oil, 40 ounce, $5.39. Cheddar cheese, $4.69 per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Time now for weather.
And our final look at weather, that front boundary now moving through Maycorner, making its way towards the Turks and Caicos Islands and Inagua, and that will provide some cloud cover in that part of the country tonight and tomorrow morning, triggering 1 or 2 showers as well. Forecast for tonight, partly cloudy and breezy with a low temperature of 68 degrees, and tomorrow we're looking at partly sunny, still on the breezy side with a high temperature of 80 degrees. And your extended weather forecast for the next 7 days, beautiful weather, lots of sunshine during the daytime. Breezy conditions will continue right through Friday. And then we start to get that warming trend also beginning on Friday, with temperatures getting above our average for this time of the year. 81 degrees is usually an average temperature for us, but we'll be above the average temperature as of Saturday, heading into the middle part of next week. Kishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
It's all about improving their own lives.